What's up, everyone? It's Hey John, and I jabber opportunities nonstop. And today we have huge breaking news. Elon Musk has literally bought Twitter, and that is a huge deal for all the shibs, all the Dogecoin followers, because as you know, Elon Musk, Dogecoin, and now Twitter. It is going to be a trifecta of more amazingness. This means that we may be seeing the Twitter platform using Dogecoin as the method of tipping. And if this can happen, ladies and gentlemen, Dogecoin will go to the MOON moon. Twitter set to accept Musk's $43 billion offer. So what does this deal entail? Twitter may announce the $54.20 per share deal later on Monday once its board has met to recommend the transaction to Twitter shareholders. The sources said, adding, it was still possible the deal could collapse at the last minute. Musk's negotiating tactics, making one offer and sticking with it, resembles how another billionaire, Warren Buffett, negotiates acquisitions. Musk did not provide any financing details when he first disclosed his offer for Twitter, making the market skeptical about its prospects. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very interesting deal here where it could still potentially fall through due to the board members saying, nah, forget it, we're not taking this offer. But again, the board is supposed to represent all the shareholders. And what if the shareholders want to, well, be acquired? Is their vote being casted? Is their vote being monitored? Who the heck knows? But if we are relying on the board members to effectively speak for the majority of the shareholders, well, you would think that there will be some sort of formal communication, some formal voting platform so they can understand what the people really want. Do you really think that these handful of board members truly understand what every single shareholder wants? I would say no, but I suspect that this deal will be a huge deal for Dogecoin because everyone is talking about Dogecoin being the tipping utility on the Twitter platform as a cryptocurrency of choice. Now, is this really true? We do not know officially, but as you know, Twitter is the people's platform, and this is why. Here we are on Elon Musk's Twitter page. I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means. So if you're wondering, hey, why in the heck does Elon Musk want to buy Twitter? It is literally for one thing and one thing only: freedom of speech, and to create a platform where you are able to speak freely as much as possible. Now, what do I mean by as much as possible? Because Twitter resides in a country and every government has their understanding and their idea of what free speech is. So obviously, if Elon Musk buys Twitter, and of course, Elon Musk must abide by the country's freedom of speech regulations, because if not, Twitter will be breaking the law. And of course, you will have people screaming, yay, 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 freedom of speech. But at the same token, we don't want to have and we don't want to promote hate rhetoric or hate speech. Yes, it's freedom of speech, quote unquote, but you don't want to be spreading hate because then you're going to incite bad behavior, and that isn't the purpose of freedom of speech. But of course, those folks will say, hey, you know what? This isn't freedom of speech. This is malarkey. This is BS. And while that may be true from their perspective, but if you look at it from the great majority and from a government perspective in terms of how they regulate what freedom of speech is, then you will say, hey, you know what? That is something that we have to work with, and it's a fine balance. You cannot have it one way or the other way. It has to reach an equilibrium where everything makes sense. Now, what gets me most excited about Elon Musk buying Twitter? Well, number one is Dogecoin being used as a tipping mechanism. Number two is that Elon Musk said that if he takes over Twitter, and I'm pretty sure he will, oh boy, he is going to work on getting rid of those bots. And my gosh, there are so many spam bots. Another big reason of why if Elon Musk is able to acquire Twitter, it'll be amazing is because most likely there will be a release of the code of the algorithm so people can look into it and say, hey, you know what? I like this. I don't like that. This is wrong. This is right. And instead of being a current big black box, there can be more light shed on the matter. You would be able to review the code. You'll be able to understand what's going on. Right now, Twitter is a big black box. And we do not know why certain tweets get pumped up and certain tweets get squashed. Well, if it's like YouTube or any other algorithm, it's obviously done by engagement in terms of how many likes, retweets, comments, etc. Because the tweets that fall to the top, they're usually the ones that are more controversial, and of course they would generate more emotion and more of that type of reaction, and by that definition you will get more engagement, and that's why those tweets float to the top. There has to be a way to regulate this in terms of balancing it out, so you won't just have all the negativity flowing to the top or anything controversial. Because from what I've seen, personally speaking, whenever you have a positive message that is very good, well, it gets next to no traction because no one's interested. Think of it this way, folks. When you're driving on a freeway and if you see an accident, you say, I'm not interested, but yet you still slow down and take a look to see what's going on. And in my opinion, that is just human nature. We like seeing a good train wreck, and we are just interested in seeing things fall apart, because that is what gets our attention. But more importantly though, let's go ahead and check out the Dogecoin charts. So here we are looking at the Dogecoin longs and the Dogecoin shorts. We can see for the first time the Dogecoin longs are a larger portion of the buyers. 51.39% longs and 48.54% shorts. For the longest time, I've been seeing around 47, 48% longs, and the flip side, 52, 51% shorts. So this is very interesting to see. Okay, folks, here we are looking at the Dogecoin weekly chart, and as you can see, from March 14, 2022 to about April 4th of 2022, we saw literally 4 weeks of nonstop higher highs and higher lows, and then we started to trend down. But more importantly, if we're looking at the VITAL ALGO oscillator, you can see that we're crossing above into the green zone, and we are now positive on the weekly time frame. In my opinion, this is a bullish indicator, and this is saying, hey, you know what? It is time for a bull run. And in my opinion, this is a fake out before a shakeout. And I suspect there will be many Dogecoin shorts getting squeezed in the near term. And you can see right now, folks, Dogecoin is currently at 14.52, and we are approaching the 15.34 cents resistance. And I do want to emphasize, I'm using the weekly time frame so I can drown out all the noise and get the best macro movement. And after 15.34, it'll be 22.15. And as you know, folks, Dogecoin moves very fast when it moves. So I suspect in the near term, in the coming weeks to come, as this moves along the Twitter buy, if it's official and it actually gets done and gets pushed through, I'm going to say this, folks. I believe Dogecoin will go back to the moon. No joke, no gimmicks, no BS, no pumping. I truly believe that because everyone is saying, hey, what is a Dogecoin utility? What is the value that Dogecoin brings? Well, if you are literally going to be the tipping utility on the Twitter platform that is worldwide, that is a global phenomenon, everyone knows about Twitter, Dogecoin will have such a grand reach that, ladies and gentlemen, it will have to go up by definition, because once you are exposed to millions and billions of people, even if everyone just buys one or two to tip someone or whatever amount they want to use, ladies and gentlemen, the amount of transactions, the amount of volume that we generated from these interactions, and then we use it as tipping, you move it back and forth, there is even more movement and more volume, and thereby Dogecoin will have to go up. I know what I'm gonna do. What are you gonna do? The best way for you guys and gals to support the channel is by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Get $250 in Bitcoin using my BlockFi link down below in the description. Get $25 in Chronos using my Crypto.com referral code. Get 5 free stocks courtesy of WEBULL. All you gotta do is use my link down below in the description, create an account, deposit 1 cent or $1, and you will get 5 free stocks valued up to $8,000. And most importantly, have an awesome day, and I will catch you all on the next one.